这个县长这边。
对，我不知道怎么，应该说我不知道怎么让他一直开着这样。对。
但是我们其实不太 care 那一段，就是那一段现在不是一个，
就太早了。
你不用那么早去关心。
对，我懂。我想
他自然
大概是你的 long term 会不会到？
对，但是那一段自然它就会发生。那你现在
那一段不用自己做，因为它迟早会大涨一下。
你其实很难想象大厂
多愿意
不是他们的软体有
多强嘛？
对，或者他们的
他可以买啊，
对他买
那个
像那个
就好了，
像 Canonical 的模式嘛，
对吧？一定会有人去买，
对，一定会，大厂其实比较愿意导入，其实说他要去，他不像说像 AP 这种东西啊，数字有自己的 team， 已经发展的很成熟了，他可以去弄这个。他从来没有类似这种东西，
他没有。
你说他要第一接触到的时间就比如他连那个 MCP 是什么都搞不懂。对啊 ，MCP 现在其实也是一个很奇怪的状态。
它应该是一个大家对名词同意，可是里面怎么做还是有很多分歧的。
你要不要大家让他讲一下？因为很多人还在听，好不好？因为我们今天的比较多，你看先聊别的，重点要让等一下。
你这个其实是了不了，其实就 MCP 这件事了不了。
对啊，
它跟模型一样，你现在聊什么，等一下要聊的一定又完全不一样。
是，可是我的想法是从2C 那一段反推回来，先把2C 的 behavior 先 agree 说哪个 industry 做是最可能被使用者使用的。
从我的角度来看，因为我们其实比较早，那其实就跟我们在脸书上贴的东西一样，它也不是哪一个领域会最早开始用，就是所有的领域都会开始用。对啊。就你现在可以看到那个Home Assistant 那个 Home Assistant 那个 project， 就是涂鸦小米，然后可以做远端 IoT 控制。远端 IoT 控制。对啊，这个。
家庭控制，
就是我昨天贴的是 OpenAI 跟微软。对，那你可以很清楚的知道还有哪个东西不做 GPU。我说你马上就会发现这些是带头的。对，接下来高铁会有 GPU， 那个 Momo 会有 GPU， 虾米会有 GPU。对，它是这样的东西，然后你会有一个 universal 的 portal， 你不是打开各个应用软体，打开各个 app， 打开各个 browser， 你只有一个你的的一个窗口。那你跟我说它会影响哪个产业？它不影响哪个产业？
不是，我的意思是说，对 2C 的人来说，
对它什么东西会第一时间感觉到，对不对？现在对2C的人来讲，就是大家只听到这个名词，根本没有人碰过，
连讲那个词到底是什么，
对，连那个网红啊，
我讲不清楚。
对，不是讲不清楚，他没有体验过，他其实就是他只看一小段，他看到影片了，然后他看到别人写文章了，然后最厉害的，比如说他自己装了。但他装了之后，他所有的 MCP 设我都装不了，他只装了一套 File Manager， 就发文，然后获得5000个赞，对啊。但是实际上他根本连 MCP 的脚都没有摸到，就是你瞎子摸象，好歹一个瞎子摸了耳朵，一个瞎子摸了鼻子，对不对？他现在摸了大象的指甲，
对，他就说那就是
他还只摸得到指甲，然后他就开始跟你描述 MCP。 那个对，所以你现在要限制说，对，哪个东西它是那个最一开始会影响土息，首先是土息要接触得到，土息要接触得到 ，general user， 对，那像他现在问题就在于说 ，general user 就是距离这个东西它的差距其实很大，那就算大厂都跳进来了，你还是取不到那些大厂提供的东西。
我想要直接让跑步机重训可以直接拍，
那也可以啊，那都很简单啊。
对啊，那很简单。我就觉得这是土司里面最快可以结束。
就那其实，而且现在那个科舍打开来，MCP 你也不用写扣了。
不用啊。
你刚才把那个，
问题是一般人不会直接去用什么 Cloud Desktop。
它不是一般人不会用的，他用了也跟你想象的不一样。就是你觉得 MCP 是 Entropic 推的 protocol 吗？他去年11月就开始推了。你有在 Cloud Desktop 里面装过 MCP 设备吗？
我都是看你玩。
你要打开 config 连接证，把 MCP 都有贴上去，然后存起来，关闭 Cloud Desktop。重启
这么复杂，这谁要用啊？
全世界都在用啊，没有人用代服。然后我们要认清这个事实。虽然我们是根据 MCP 客制化的 desktop，
但没有人用。
我们大概有5-6千个用户嘛，但是你跟 Cloud 比起来 ，MCP 的介绍都是在 Cloud 上，所以你可以想象 General User 根本不会用，可能你用过代服，但是你自己也没用过 Cloud Desktop。你可能用过 Cursor， 可能用过 Windsurf 的 MCP， 你在那边平台的 MCP 的体验可能都有比 Cloud Desktop 来的好。
对啊，我在 Windsurf 用很好。
对，所以 General User 根本接触不到，那怎么可能 General User 会装 Windsurf？
不会啊，会，我的教练现在装 Windsurf， 他写 PM 有的
，OK 啊。
去年在讲这件事情的时候都没有人要写。
Windsurf 也是要基本费的。
Windsurf 对啊，
就是指令不用，但指令比较弱。
指令那个一般人不会装啊。
我反而是介绍人家装指令。
没有，你就是介绍Windsurf。那个就是真的是讲话是，因为我 Peggy 我都教得会了。Peggy 是一个女生，她是我她用 Windsurf 自学 GitHub， 她说她一直想要把 code 可以布局到 GitHub， 然后她就靠着跟 Windsurf 对话，她就学会。
我们公司的设计跟财务人资都是用指令比较多，然后我们 RD 一般是用 Cursor。OK，
我原本是用 Cursor， 可是我后来喜欢 Spec driven 的写法，直接就用 Windsurf， 因为那时候 Cursor 它还没有很多。
Cursor Composer 其实也很糟糕。
对，
它是上个月突然上个月突然切成 Agent。
我觉得目前
Agent
做最好的就是 Windsurf。
就 Windsurf 也有 Agent 一样的东西，但是就佛心的状态来看，就是以 token 数有限，然后 Windsurf 的那个，当你突破到一定的用量之后 ，Windsurf 的条件比较。
而且因为我是2.2搭的，所以我有。
我先打断一下 ，OK， Kevin， 我可以帮我开 Kalak 手机吗？Kalak 就给他们。Hello, welcome to today's Kalak meetup. Today we are very happy to Kevin want to introduce about Dive, their open source MCP host application, right? And no need to close that because we 那个什么要开一下 ，Google Meet 可能要开一下，不然等下那个录的时候，哦，你有开是不是知道了？
另外一个。
OK， we have 共读hack ND， 帮我开一下 hack ND。
你要，
我贴在那个 Telegram 的 link。OK。应该我要写在这边。
That's okay。
哎
，forbidden。
Sorry。OK。I will open a hack ND link for everyone if you got interested to apply some content and about today's talk. And Kevin, you go first about MCP and dive first, and I open the link for everyone.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Kevin.
动漫花
，OK 人，我们有麦克风吗？还是我讲大声？
你直接讲就好，因为那个是你电脑的麦，所以这样就收得进去。
哦。
对。
I think it's only one person online, so I was asking for microphone because I don't think everyone can hear me clearly. Anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And I'm worried too much. So yeah, I wasn't really prepared to introduce Dive because for earlier information I would trip by and see how everything going. But yeah, in terms of the introduce Dive, I believe that everyone here are more interesting about model content protocol, aka MCP. So okay, and then before we start,
you didn't share the
I didn't share.
Oh,
okay, what's okay, awesome. For official definitions, okay then. Yeah, I think actually for official definitions, nobody really get what is MCP, and actually the name of the MCP means something. So for models, the content of the model are the some like the most important thing when you communicate with the model. Like there is a lot of technology nowadays to helping you to assist to create your prompt. So the content actually is the prompt is the most important part of it. So like you can if you want to generate an image nowadays, like Stable Diffusion 2 years ago, they actually added ChatGPT 3.5 to extend your words. Like if you want to create a dog, puppies, a very cute puppy with anime style, for like a Ghibli style. So the ChatGPT 3 will extend your description prompt and make it much specific with details. So the image that you generate are way better than general human input. Then there is a lot of technology based on that issues, like REG. So everyone already very familiar with what REG is. REG is search technology based on the vertical data, not vertical, the vector data. Yeah, the vector data. So they're using like a cosine similarity to find the most relevant data with your questions, and then they grow the crap of it, and using another technology to try to encode or summarizing those informations. So, but it has the limit. So every large language model has a content size limitation when you're doing input, and there will be huge issues like how we had this limited under that content sizes and create a perfect prompt. Should the large language model has all the information can fit your needs. So in that algorithm, there is tons of algorithm for that. So one of that is the content enhancement. So model content enhancement is also a technology, actually way before the model content protocol. So everything relate with this name, like content something, content that, are all about how to make your prompt better. So model content protocol are actually using the tools, actually allow models to use the tools based on the function calling technology. So model has the tool list in the toolbox, so they can pick up the tools. Once you install like tons of the MCP servers, then you will have tons of the tools. Those tools will choosing by models like how to make the input to answer better. So as the REG system, as the prompt extension system, they all are trying to make your answer better. So this is why Entropic is choosing this name. It's not really like what the influencer described. It's like a USB, easy to plug your computer to let your large language model to have this function, that function. They choosing this name because it's a content related technology. So, but rest of it is too complicated, and I don't think it's need to understand. So the basic of the MCP model, the idea of the MCP model is that. So remember that is something necessary, but the rest of the technology is not that important. The three names of the MCP you have to before you start it, you have to figure out what is that. Is one is MCP host, MCP CNI, and MCP server. So most of the time when we call it tools, we will call it MCP servers. And MCP CNI actually is installed on your computers. So your CNI can connect to the servers. MCP host is the one to host all the client. So like they have a YouTube download MCP client. There's tons of that. The play well headless browser MCP client. Sir, what? Yeah, Blender also is a. It has a Blender server and the Blender MCP server and the Blender MCP CNI. And the Blender MCP server actually linked to the Blender servers. So this has a multiple layer of that example. The thing is, once you figure out these three names, then then you actually understand the whole character of each MCP software will present to. So MCP host owns tons of the MCP client. MCP client represent at least one tools. So one client actually has multiple tools. For example, for Microsoft just released Playwell MCP server. Is actually amazing MCP service. So if anyone never heard of Playwell, it's a headless browser, like there is another headless browser called Similarity. What the name is? Sonority. Okay, there is a headless browser we're using for UI testing for a while. I already forget his name. After the Michael Playway, yeah. Playway, but before the Playway, there's a web personality. Yeah, but yeah, just forget the name for a while. So Cybers.
Sort of.
Selenium, right? Selenium, web Selenium.
But Cybers is another one very popular before Playway.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was jumping from the Selenium to Playway. I never hear.
Yeah,
there is something in the middle. Why I'm saying that the thing is, I'm introducing the tools, right? For one MCP client, they may contain multiple tools. Like Microsoft just released Playway MCPs, and they have around 6 to 10 tools. I forget the details, but they actually manipulate the browser far as we do before. Like they are now be able to do surfing on the internet to control the browser with the details for each click, back forward, first forward, and screenshot using the image recognition to identify icons. They have done a lot of stuff into it, and so it was try to explain like the one client has multiple tools. So of course you may have one client contain like 1,000 tools, but it will be a disaster. So I don't recommend that you do that because what you get when you do that, people probably won't install your MCP server in the first place. And why is that? Because every tools will based on the MCP protocol. Every client, when they sign to the MCP host, the client will have their tools description, so that the large language model will know should he to pick up which tools and to choosing which client. So all the tools description will added to your content. And we mentioned about it, there is a limited for your content size. And actually it's quite small. So even for Entropic Sonnet 3.7, they only got 200K content window. So once you added like a 100K, you need a triple GPU memory. So there is a huge limitation and not easy to break through. So far, it would be a billion questions.
So you mean you better not install too many on your system?
No, I mean you as a client, you probably won't add the 1,000 tools into it. When if you do that, nobody will install your client.
But I mean,
but also if you are on a host like your desktop,
okay.
like your cloud desktop or Dive desktop, although there is 1,000 MCP server you can find on the internet, but you won't install at once. Like you couldn't install really 100 MCP server at once. Otherwise, your content window will be scrolled. So this because they only have a limitation, 200K content window. And every time you're doing anything with the large language model, you will carry all the tools description, all the prep stuff with your large language model. So you can imagine that will be a disaster once you install like thousands MCP at once. But for in the future, I believe that there will be some solution to fix it. Like before you really choosing the MCP server, they may have a reg system help you to pick up something you need to dynamically loading. Yeah,
I've seen MCP sometimes where they invoke a particular MCP server with a use an image or something.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you're saying there's other ones where it's just always on. And
yeah. That's how
you're talking about the always on version.
So
yeah.
How the large language model knows which MCP to pick up?
Yeah.
You have to send it. So every time you install like a 10 MCP server, every communication, even you talk with the MCP servers, you need to carry on all the description with you. Like if you install like 10 MCP server, it might probably cost you 1,000 tokens. So even you add a hi, then there will be 1,000 and hi. So
it's like something like a UDP.
Yeah, it was like something like description, like you carry your resume with you, go everywhere.
Who can answer? So, who can pick up me? Like something.
Yeah. So every tool, because the large language model need to know when he should pick up the tools. So if you asking Sonnet 3.7 to write down a story for write down a fairy tale story, something like that, you don't need using any tools, and there is no any tools fit on this job. Then you just carry the tools and the large language model do things there. But no matter what things you do, once you enable MCP server, you need to carry the MCP server description go everywhere. So yeah, you now the fantasy kind of broken, but still there is some technology solution is going on, and people are starting research on it. Even Dive are research on it. So actually before the meeting, Haichen just asked me, is there a roadmap for Dive? If you see the roadmap for Dive, it would be disaster. There's everything we want to do everything, but there are few people of us, so we need to choose in the most important.
They have only 12 people working on.
Yeah. But like every agenda we are talking about, even we don't have
over those projects, how can you ask other people contribute it without the roadmap?
I'm not sure. So if people want that better than we, they probably can contribute something.
All right.
Yeah, we already have Spanish people just providing Spanish language into our project. We have Canadians helping us to communicate with Obama team and
so you have Spanish people.
We have a Spanish contributor. So not other people. Having people is another illegal issue. Yeah, contributors. Right. Okay. What we are talking about, right? You know, the MCP client will have tons of the tools. Every tools has tools description. No matter what you do, MCP hoster will carry all the MCP client with all the description to do the things you are asking for. So every prompt you are sending, once you enable MCP, you may carry like 1,000 tokens with you. The cost will be exponentially growth in that direction. So that is the negative part of the MCP. But the good thing is people are already working on it, and we may have some solution really soon. Okay, then next will be the MCP. Oh yeah, the house client talk to the MCP server. So there's also actually evolution. It's during the evolutionary, so they're changing like every few months. I'm not sure. The whole protocol just released like 4 months ago. So I think at the first 2 to 3 months, we only do standard I/O communicate. So MCP client will only calling your local executable binary file or text script files. So the MCP client will only talk with your MCP server based on the standard I/O input. The last month or 2 months ago, MCP standard added one communicated protocol called SSE. So now the client can call remote MCP servers.
Like RPC. Remote like a RPC.
No, it's not a remote RPC. It's based on it's like a JSON RPC actually.
Okay.
Inside the protocol.
Inside.
But the protocol itself calls
SSE.
SSE. Yeah. So what does SSE means? I think it's server side. The server side. Server side what?
Server side to server to client streaming.
Yeah, server side event. Server send event.
Server side.
Server send event. Yeah. I actually don't using Google a lot nowadays.
Yeah, me too.
Somehow it's become a behavior.
Yeah.
But when I really want to dig on a question, I probably must get Google. So there's a server-side sender event, and recently people are trying to add a WebSocket into it, but I'm not sure if anyone else will interested to add it. But yeah, this is how the client talk with your server. They have multiple protocol, and I believe that there will be a future solution when the general public want to use MCP service with their local large language model. Because to be honest, before we start the meeting, I talked with Chan. The most important part for general public to using this technology is they are too difficult. Even for the engineers, you probably only install like 2 to 3 MCP server, and you won't be able to. You can only look at the video, like how the influencer showing you. Their MCP server can do things like can do incredible things. Last week I tried the Blender 3D MCP server. It can manipulate the Blender to draw dungeons with the dragon to protect his golden paw. The things like yesterday I saw someone using the MCP that Anthropic Cloud Desktop to manipulate the ChatGPT 4.0 to generate a serial comment. So
sorry，听着没事。
对呀，谢谢。
然后另外的，
So there's tons of amazing things that influencer KOL really showing you, and even for them, a lot of MCP server are difficult to install because they need tons of the different technology background. Like at least you need to install Docker. For Linux user, it's probably very easy, but in Mac, it's a disaster. In Windows, I don't even know if there has any like a Docker related service. So if you won't be able to install it, that for example, like a SearchXNG, there is a meta search engine for you to simply access Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo at once. So if you install like a SearchXNG server in your MCP server list, then you will instantly have the capability surpassing Perplexity. So if you never heard of Perplexity, should I need to explain the Perplexity? No. Okay. Awesome. Then yeah. No, not the search engine. Perplexity, the search AI agent, something like that. But nowadays, even ChatGPT has a search. So DeepSeek has search, and Anthropic has search yesterday, but only limited in the United States. So Anthropic. It's something that and for that search XMG, I never see any like Taiwanese influencer shows that talk because it's too difficult for them. Also the playway, the like if you want to install your header, install a headers browser in Mac OS or in Windows, it's also a disaster. So for general user, like what I see, people just simply install a file manager, like what else? I think the most example I'm seeing was a file manager, so they can rig a file, and then they don't need to install some complicated service. But the thing is, people are stopping there, and they wanted to using the MCP because it's kind of famous, and they see what the people can do, but they won't be able to do it. But the major problem is they are stuck into the server install block. So when people talk about you can create some containers or package for the user to install on your desktop easily, and you create a marketplace like MCP marketplace for the user install your MCP server. It also won't be able to happen because the if you are using iMac, every executable binary that Mac will execute will need to be getting satisfied. So you need tons of the seeding to allow that application install into your desktop. So I don't believe that it will happen in that way, but I believe that someone will providing like a MCP SSE service massively for general users to easily access, like AWS for general public. So, but it's also will providing from platform. For example, OpenAI yesterday, they just saying they were including MCP in their OpenAI desktop. I don't even know there is an OpenAI desktop. Probably not announced yet. But the thing is, once they have MCP server in their desktop, they will including some MCP environment, also including the SSE remote service. So that for OpenAI user, they can just reach those SSE service or pay some like tokens to access. Of course, because the SSE MCP server also has some cost. So they definitely will charging some, but we don't know how they're gonna do it yet. But I mean, so if you want to do a marketplace, like last 2 weeks ago, they had a MCP like information exploring in Taiwan, like a tech society. We haven't heard a lot of people saying something like what they can do with MCP. At least I hear like a 3-person says they want to create an MCP marketplace. Don't do it. It's not your battlefield. Yeah, there will belongs to desktop, like Dive. So we did say that, but we will create something like that. But Entropic will also, and OpenAI will do it. So yeah, this is how the situation we are facing with MCP nowadays. So general public still have one step away. I think it would be the issue would be fixed probably in 3 months to 6 months. So in that in probably next quarter, even for Entropic, if you using the Entropic desktop to access MCP, you will know it's actually a disaster. They didn't manage the MCP at all. You can install it, but you won't be able to manage it. You won't be able to disable.
No packaging manager.
Yeah, they don't have the MCP manager. You have to remove it manually.
I learned it from you that many people want to build a marketplace for AI agent, right? I mean, I heard just many people want to build marketplace for MCP
Right.
hoster, right?
MCP hoster.
Or AI agent.
As I know, so far there's at least 3 to 5 MCP hosts. Like, but none of them has appropriate package MCP management right now. So like what I'm saying, even for a cloud desktop, the Entropic desktop don't have the MCP manager. You have to, once you added the MCP server into it, once you want to remove it or disable it, you have to open an editor, directly open a JSON file and then remove a part of JSON. It's actually a disaster once you remove a common column or and then the JSON format will run. Yeah, please.
So yeah, because you can open it up in an editor or like an IDE.
Yeah.
What about IDE marketplaces for MCPs? For example, like Cursor comes to mind that has a MCP marketplace where you can install things directly into the editor.
Exactly. Cursor doing really well. I think Windsurf also do something. They have a beta form for you to manage it. For Cursor, you can simply enable and disable individual MCP server. So Cursor do better job than I do. Then this is something we need to admit. We will fix it probably in next release, but yeah, Cursor doing extremely well. The thing is, like the MCP hosts are still in a very early stage. Not many people create it. Even in an international perspective, only the few desktop has this manager service. Of course, the Cursor won't be able to go to general public, I believe, and it's not fit for general public. So, yeah. So this is how it's going. Okay, then I probably described everything. Anything you wanted to know about MCP server? Any questions?
What are you personally using? Which MCP servers are you using right now in your own work?
We can see. I actually can show that.
You should show that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me show. Let me show it.
Let me show.
Amount dive. Okay. It takes some time because I actually install a lot of MCPs. Oh.
Yeah, that is there. Okay.
So I installed the Playweight. Yeah, it just announced a few days ago. So as I mentioned, it has tons of the tools and the tons of the description of the tools. So I also installed the big old MCP servers so they can helping us to compare the price via the large language model. It's actually quite interesting. So there was like 7 tools we provide in the beginning, but we dropped like 5 of it because early stage the first version of the big MCP server we actually has introduced it first. The big MCP server is a search shopping agent. So you can ask a large language model to find in the best price for you, to check out the history price of each product. And he can do very complicated search. Like if you want to know this Xiaomi 65-inch screen, what are the weight of it? What are the warranties? Like it's a 3-year warranty for panel or for the whole machines. I want to find the longest warranty with the whole television. Which one on the market would be the longest warranties? So, and under 100,000 NT dollars, which television has largest screen? So those kind of questions, actually now you can ask BigO to helping you to answer that. So it's a really complicated question. You need to take few hours to researching to get answer.
You mean BigO's website or Dive?
For Dive and BigO website, we was want to play this function like 3 weeks ago. This function just launched in 2 weeks. So the original plan is providing this function, and we actually achieved that. So we create the most advantage shopping assistant of the world, and we won't be able to release because for one question it will cost me like $10 US, just for one Shelly question. Like you can imagine how much time they need to talking to the BigO search. Like we have a specification search data index. So we open a hold for the AI assistant to directly access the database. So they can using the SQL command or EQL to searching the exactly specification for each product, for all the product we collecting. We collecting all the product of the world. Like in Taiwan, they are not that much, only like 3,000 to 5,000. So the thing is, all the product with specifications. So if the product without specification, like your shoes, clothes, probably won't be able to into it. But all the product with specification, we already collecting, and we give the power to the AI agent to directly access our database, so they can doing multiple search. They can create their own SQL command. They can create their own EQL to find the target. The thing is, they are doing too well. Like the SQL command, I never writing in my whole life. Like it's really complicated. So they can inner join, left join, sub-select to find the targets you want. And they did it. So, but it cost me a lot. So they even they find like the question I ask is the biggest screen on the 100,000 NTs, so they need to query each product for the price. They cost like probably 10 times or 20 times MCP2's code. So you can imagine how the miners work now. So like if you're using open miners, you're asking them to write down a story or create some program for you. The first thing you need to worry about is the cost. So demo is another thing. Like a YouTuber or influencer, they tell you the future is coming. They didn't tell you they are coming with the cost. So
Are you doing this ever with like Olama or one of those local models?
Right. For Olama, they are quite slow, so they need to improve. We have a 4090s 6-car cluster computing GPU computer in our office. Still, they won't be able to competing with some model like DeepSeek, D3 or Anthropic Sonnet.
Does running it locally though decrease the cost for you if you were to do that?
They do decrease the cost, but they won't be able to actually answer the question. So there's still something need to be to wait the models provider to fix. Well, there actually has a very interesting topic with that question, but I won't finish the last thing we will continue to talk about. So for BigOs, we won't be able to providing specification search is because the cost. In the future, we probably will provide it. Then for now, it's simply providing search and the price history. So, and you can actually use in that BigO MCP on BigO's website. So we already have this MCP agent in here. And, hi.
Wow.
Okay, they now only do 3 things: price comparison, check price history, and find some like informations. Okay. So if you want searching like a loop stack, so they can give you some introduction, give you some popular choice, and different discounts, and they can also check the price history for you. So it's simple, but may helping with user to saving a lot of time with it. So still, there is the BigO MCP server. Search XNG, like I mentioned about it. Once you have this, you will have Perplexity, and you are using this with Playwell, so you can have something even way better than Perplexity, because now they can dig into it. So like if you wanted a financial statement from NVIDIA's for 2024, what? Sure. So it probably cost me. Yeah, it takes time. So that
You should record a video.
I should record a video. Sure, of course. But there are too many interesting topics. Yeah. Let me just finish it. So yeah, you can actually combining multiple MCP tools for their calling, and you want to find sure.
Very quickly. So with these MCPs, they go MCP server, and you should just show us the interface. You put a product, and then behind the scene, are you constructing a query and referencing the MCP and then that is going to your server and gathering the contextual information?
Right. That is full spec search. We already deleted from the client. So because it costs a lot, but we do actually open a account for MCP server directly access our database. We only allowed the MCP server access for individual tables, or individual index.
So right now, the demo you just showed us is not using the MCP server.
It's using MCP server.
Okay,
But,
is that like behind the scenes?
but behind the MCP server, there is two ways for them to access the data. One is goes to BigO Search API. For that demo I just shown you, is go to BigO APIs. The other way we have been trying is later the MCP server directly talk with database.
Okay, and then
So-
if we're going to the API,
Yeah,
is that via a search query though? So you're using like OpenAI's API or Cloud API and you're having that call your MCP server to get the product information and do the response. Is that the flow?
okay, I think I can explain the detail for the movement that what they actually do. So once they get the prompt may perhaps asking the price of iPhone 16 Pro Max. So they will generate a query string. And no, they will not just, sorry. They will check their toolbox. Like if they are only has search NX, they will go to internet asking for Google, Bing, and other tools. If they have a Playwell, they will choosing whatever tools they can pick up. So once they pick up the BigO's tools for shopping assistant, so they will generate from that point, they will generate a query string. Because we have the description, we tell them this is only some like a shortest description, but the real description are way longer than this. So besides the product search, they will give you like how they code the product search. The detail with like for query string, there is a key and the values like query and the read string you will put via the HTTP GET to send it to it. There is a page size you can regulate, the price limitation, price range. You can set it with it. So there is a tons of the option you need to fit it to talk with an API.
Sure.
The AI will generate those form to fit with your API. Then they were using the MCP server. Your client send those information to MCP server. MCP server will really talk to the API behind it and get the result.
So you built this MCP server, but this is for other people to use in the future. Cursor, right? I could just use this as an MCP server and then have this functionality. But you're not using this in the BigO demo you just showed? Like on your BigO website, there you're just hitting an API.
We actually using the same. So, but we only use the BigO API. We actually didn't provide the others.
Of course.
So for BigO Assistant, we do use this exactly the same technology. We open for everyone to access, and we also provide it in our BigO's website.
So when I put in the product, for instance, in your demo you just showed is like some product name, right?
Right.
Then that is being sent with a post request or whatever, and then you generate a query,
Right.
like into the AI that includes using the BigO MCP server.
Right.
Is that right? And then the bot or whoever you're using for your
The language model.
the language model behind the scenes is actually making the call to your BigO MCP server to get the extra context information it needs to be able to provide a good response.
Right.
Okay.
And they will read the response.
Yeah.
And decide which the content should come out. So if you if you are not speaking Chinese, obviously, so if you using BigO MCP server and the query for the iPhone 16 Pro Max, you will get the English answers, right? They will translate automatically from the e-commerce. So they will using different description based on the language you use.
But is that all? I mean, that's just the LLM, right? Like
the LLM will
handle
design all the content they took it from MCP result.
But your MCP and your database, I assume, is all Mandarin, right?
Yeah.
So like you're just like, here's the right products, and then it's like,
Right. So actually, Bigo has crossed like 13 different countries. We have US side, Japan side, and Southeast Asia. So we actually handling around 10 different language. So you can use our service in Amazon, eBay, in Singapore, in Japan. Actually,
How about the Spanish and Portuguese?
no. We goes to South American and like yeah, in 2022, and it was the wrong decisions. Okay. Yeah, and YouTube download MCP, so I don't need to read the video anymore. Yeah, try like make every video 60 minutes.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
How is it possible to MCP server communicate with each other?
Yeah, of course. But
like without the like a
without a large language model.
Yeah. Is it possible?
I'm not sure.
Two automatic agent.
I'm not sure whether the theory is, but there is a protocol, so you can have a MCP is holding a large language model with their own MCP, and they're like a loop. You can have a yeah, right, of course. It's just a protocol, but you can have a MCP loop.
Yeah,
so the thing is, YouTube download MCP is amazing. They save me like tons of time. I don't need to watch a 6 minutes post of the chat like OpenAI submit. I only need the large language model to get a summary.
I was waiting other people's summary.
Yeah.
They watched all videos.
Yeah. The thing is, this also is my project. Yeah. So it's kind of very famous because a lot of people use that. The file system, so they can directly managing the file when they download the MP3 via the YT DLP. So they can also using Whisper to translate the language to like to recognize the subtitle. So yeah, this is what the current MCP server I'm using.
So a quick question. You might have already answered that. Sorry, I missed the beginning. So because with MCP, like it just simply returns things in a JSON format, the data, right? What stops from web scrapers just pulling data? Do you have any rate limitation from your side? For example, if I want to get the data from your server about your products or whatever, I can just call that MCP endpoint and just pull the data, run millions of queries per second. Do you have any limits to prevent that?
We have security limitation, but we don't have for general user. You won't feel that. Like you can maximum calling Bigo MCP server 300 times per second, and beyond that, you will be banned. So that is for security, but not for general public. I don't think anyone will reach that limitations. So, and it doesn't really cost me a lot. If you talk with if you're using like large language model behind the MCP server, of course, it depends on what you call it. It will cost a lot.
It's more like I was thinking if I'm building a service that basically is scraping the data and using your server just to pull as much as possible, and I would run it every 5 seconds, 500 requests per second. So you guys have some kind of rates
I think
limitation.
the cost will be on your side.
But if he's running an LLM behind it.
Oh, you mean the shopping assistant on the website? Oh, that do have a limitation.
Yeah.
So we have strategy for that. Should we say the strategy is we give the interview. You have to log in to access the service first, And for each user, we are providing the premium service at the beginning, like for maybe top 500,000 token questions. You will service by the first tier model, like Sonnet 3.7, 4.0, Gemini 3. Then you will have premium service as a VIP client. After 500,000 tokens, you will treat by Haiku, 4 mini, and yeah, something like that. So there is different tiers, and after that, when you're hitting like 10 million tokens, your service is called off the day. So we will stop you to access the service until tomorrow's, like what OpenAI does. So general user can using OpenAI nowadays without any logins, but you still has the limitations.
Token limitations.
Yeah, but they treat you like a 4 mini at the very beginning. So please.
Does the MCP protocol have any sort of authorization mechanism built in?
Yeah, of course. They can do. Of course, they can do the authentication service or key service. Like the bigger service you are calling, you have to get the server client ID and the service client secure. Well, it's broadcasting out.
So is this the?
But it doesn't matter. It's broadcasting out to have we still have some left. So that's okay.
Is this so is the payload is this like the payload that's being written in?
No, it's just a content identity for Bigo. So you can log into Bigo account and get your access token.
Yes.
And it's actually free, so everyone can get it.
No,
even
yeah.
you're using mine, I don't really mind.
My question is, so like Claude is calling your MCP server, right?
Right.
So how do you make sure that Claude is authorized to make that call to the MCP server?
Carl?
Yeah.
Carl is authorized for that MCP servers.
There is no, there is a project called OOS for agents. I'm not sure it's related to.
Or is Claude making the call to grab the MCP information, or is it that your server grabs the extra information and then writes it into the query for Claude making the decision context window?
Let me think about it. It still has some confusing with that questions. So, like, your question is, how Cloud take up the MCP service? Like,
Yeah, so it's like the MCP protocol. I haven't used it yet.
right.
I'm not clear.
Okay.
Is Claude making the call to your MCP server?
Right. I talked at the beginning. So
Yeah.
there is a MCP host to managing all your MCPs. So for the crowd, they actually talk directly on the MCP client. So the client is that large language model directly talk with. So they don't really talk with the MCP server. MCP server is something that your MCP client managing you by your local MCP host to deal with. So the MCP server can be something remotely, like what I mentioned, the SSE MCP
Or
server.
database.
Cloud desktop.
No, so like how you're using it right now. So
Right.
the user puts in their query, right?
Right.
And now you have this thing you want to search for,
Right.
That hits your server.
No, not hit by server. The thing I want to searching for, you gotta hit the large language model. The
Well, no, but
record.
I mean, it's not client side, right? You're definitely running this
Right,
server
but
side.
the question will goes to the large language model first, because they need to pick up the tools they need to use.
Okay, so like when I'm on your site and I say iPhone 5e, right?
Right,
Now that request goes to your server. Now you say iPhone 5e and you construct a query to hand to the large language model, right? That includes some act using your MCP server, right?
if you are using the big O assistant, then there's a web interface. But still, no matter what you input, like finding iPhone 16, the query will send it to large language model.
No, but that's server side, because you
That's-
can't leak your credentials and stuff like that. So you're doing that server side, but on the server side, which would be the same as the client, right? If you were doing it on local, but if on the server side, there's some way in which the information that you're passing to Claude and the MCP server are linking up. And now I'm not entirely clear. Is it because the MCP server is hosted?
Yeah, there is multiple server side because when you are input via your browser, you are client.
Yeah.
And the big O server. And big O take the request that you input via talk to our server, which is called the large language model in somewhere on the planet. And we also will tell there is some tools that you can use, which is the big O MCP client to list.
Right. So Claude says, "Oh, I want to use the big
Yeah.
client
Right.
list thing,"
Right.
and then Claude is making a request to your
Exactly.
tool.
And they will go back to our tools.
So my question is how is the authentication happening between Claude and your tool, right?
No connection. It's the cloud data that will be the big Dive AI is the proxy. Proxy the cloud or something or Llama and the proxy to the MCP server is the proxy.
Okay, so they actually make the request for the information on the server and then pass that information, proxy that information to Claude. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
We are working on DID solution to do the same thing, the authentication and the validation for MCP
Okay.
by using W3C verifiable credential. We are working on this project.
Well, first, I don't think it is kind of like a proxy how this works. So the thing is the MCP only the MCP client will talk with MCP server. So if there is any security or authorization issues, it won't happen between the large language model and the MCP server. So large language model only control with the MCP client. So that is how it works.
Oh, I think he's asking the authentication if in current architecture you need to pre-configure it in your MCP client, right? And
yeah, of course.
What he is asking is anywhere you can dynamically also validate the authentication.
No. Okay, so like the simplest way to get fill model context is RAG, right? Or even just paste. Like here's my document. I'm going to paste it in and tell me some information in the document, right?
Okay.
But MCP is giving it more information than that, right? Like for instance, you can say, hey, generate images for me, or playwright, go and click things, or whatever, right? So I'm not clear. Is Claude the one that is invoking the click commands? Right?
They actually invoking everything.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's all going through an API. That's what MCP is, right? It's basically an API contract. So basically the Claude is saying, click this link, go to this place, do this thing, and every single time it's giving the IO.
Yeah.
Okay, so Claude is directly talking to the MCP server. Then is there an authentication mechanism from Claude to the MCP server so that oh, okay, these requests are authorized by us?
Actually, okay, the thing still, the MCP server is the name balance, and the MCP server not really like I'm not sure the MCP server you are standing with, but the MCP server only talk with MCP client. So the cloud, no matter what large language model you're using, you only talk with the client.
You're saying like it's only Claude desktop. right? So
Yeah.
Cloud Desktop then is sitting in there as a client.
Even cursor, even the
Yeah, because cursor's local too, so you could think of
Yeah.
it as a client.
other desktop, or you build it.
Or if it's on your
You
server.
build it on another like Figos. We build it behind a web service.
Right. So it's just in a web service. So then in that case, what you're saying is correct, that it's a proxy. So is it like you?
I won't call it proxy because we also will processing the data. So we also will process the data. Like there is tons of the thing we need to do, like what we have mentioned. If you're hitting like a certain of a token, we need to adjust the label. We need to set up a lot of things. So it's not a proxy. But yeah, we send your request through our web server to the large language model, and the large language model handling the tools they're gonna use, and then they will pick up the tools, form the API request, and send it back using those tools to get the answer. And then those answers will also get back to the large language model to process, and then they will decide if they gonna call another tools or keep processing the data. Then cannot the result.
So it's like if you were to see the conversation, it would be like this. You say, find me a really great product. And then the large language model responds and says, okay, I'll do that. I need you to click this link and do this other thing and do this other thing. And then your client goes and uses the MCP server you created to click the link, get the response, and then send it back to Claude. Okay, here's what happened when I clicked the link. And then Claude looks at it. Okay, cool. Now I want you to click this other link. That goes back, and then you go and click the other link, get the response.
Well,
Does that
for
count?
cursor, there is the agency mode and ask mode. For ask mode, everything that cursor will do will ask a human. Do you want to click that thing? Do you want to create that file? And if you say yes, and cursor will, the large language model will create it for you. But it will, in every step, the human will interact with. But now they actually have the agency mode, so they won't ask you anymore. It will decision what they need to do and directly call the MCP client to do. So this probably can just have a demo with the question that we just give to. We just saying the high chain was asking how the MCP server calling the multi tools and gather the answer. Perhaps this can also answer the questions. Like, oh, sorry.
I'll take a quick crack at it. My understanding is that, like, you know how if you're asking it like how the tool authenticate, like how can you use a tool and pass on authentication. My understanding is that when you're configuring it initially, if you don't give provided credentials, it's not like added to the tool chain. So then wouldn't you be able to access it? Wouldn't it be available to the MCP to use if it didn't have the right credentials or the correct configurations? So that way, once anything, so then when MCP server is running, it assumes that all tools are passed that have the correct configurations as well as the authentications, so there is no necessary like additional step to my understanding.
Yeah, I think I get it. I think I understand.
Okay, I'm sure I got two people's understanding.
Oh, I think I've seen people deploy MCP servers to the cloud, right? Like you'll see them do that as a step. And so I was always thinking, well, maybe the MCP protocol is allowing Claude to talk directly with the tool, right? But it doesn't seem like that's really what's happening. It sounds like what's happening is it's proxying it through a server that you control. So if you were to think of the conversation, it's like, you know, here's your thing, and you say, hey, I want to do this, and I want to use this tool that's available, and then I don't know, like later on, you get the response, and then you have to still invoke the tool. That would be secure because you would be the one who's in control of using the tool. I don't know, but it might be less efficient than say just like.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay then. So he will decide the tools. They will do web search the first, and go. He will think like the query string they are using not that well. They will goes to first the web search, the second web search, the third web search, so collecting more information. They decide not to do the fetch. So there is.
And so that your server, your web server in this case, is invoking each of those web search calls.
It's actually the local servers.
Okay.
So it's a Docker I install in my notebook.
Yeah.
It will call search NX to do the web search. But sometimes it will decide if this information are more interesting, they will go into the web page.
Can you scroll down and see what the result is?
Sure. We didn't actually listing all the detail, but you will see there were all the detail in the pages, but they were changed to the markdown format. So they won't directly show you with the HTML tag because the tokens are so expensive and those things are useless.
And so this is passed back to Claude or whatever, and Claude looks at it
Right.
and says the
Right.
information's not
How they
there.
will read it.
Yeah.
Read all the information, and they will decide, let me search in more spec details for next step. And they are not satisfied, it will keep going. So that you can imagine if I asking you to search in some particular specification of certain product, they will go back and forth, and that cost you like tons of the tokens. So this is how he does, and then they will go like, sure, of course.
How can we do SEO if MCP is kind of popular and everyone
You should forget SEO.
we still need something.
Yeah, like how can we do like Google search better? No, you should forget that.
No. I mean not SEO, but if I am a product maker and I want to promote my product to any like AI search engine, or I am a brand, I want to know the voice, my brand voice in oral search engine.
I think this
is there any technology people are working on?
I think that there is something will change permanently.
Yeah.
So, but still something will remain. Like in 1970s, everyone says television will kill radio star.
Yeah.
There's a song for that. So, but the thing is, television didn't kill radio star.
Yeah, but
even nowadays, there's still a bunch of people still listen to radio.
But dramatically reduce.
The percentage of client will significantly reduce.
Yeah.
Like perhaps only 1 or 2% or 5% still listening. The search engine is exactly the same. So even nowadays, people still using Yahoo in Taiwan, but they're probably only like 10%.
Yes.
So I don't recommend anyone doing like a traditional advertising, display advertising, or SEO. If you want to find your life meaning on this direction, it has no futures.
Yeah.
So why we talk about this? The thing is, they will go to different tools to find the needs. There are also some like interesting application with that. So if they can access the database, then you will be able to find all the detail of the company, financial, and all the private things. Like someone goes to business traveler, purchasing like 10,000 dinners with no client, or someone buy a 100,000 pencils, something like that. All the details they will explore in the future, like what the Dodge team does in United States. So the Elon Musk team probably just simply added the function to code for database via, doesn't matter which protocol they're using, probably MCPs to directly access the financial statement government or the defense department to their database to find out those issues. There won't be issues in the future. So your financial accountants, if you really want to sign your financial report in the future, probably won't come from those big four like Deloitte or yeah, other financial firm. But in the future, your financial statement was signed by Anthropic or OpenAI. This is something we may see one day because they will dig in more than those financial firm can do. And also for a lawyer, it's the same thing. So they can dig into your case and the reference with other case and the searching other case via the rate algorithm to find all the your defense strategy or the things for you. So yeah, this is some technology we are seeing and some future we were facing with. Okay then, any questions?
I want to listen the story of why you developed.
Story why we developed the toy?
Yeah, because it's your price comparison company. Why you choose? Why you have this kind of decision? And
No, it's another.
Maybe about what's the type roadmap.
Type roadmap. So first of all, the price comparison service is a search engine. So people sitting here already hear about it. We are not doing price comparison side. We are actually doing a search engine because no matter what you are searching for, the product listing on the e-commerce, we will find it for you. So for search engine, the first step, it's kind of like a traditional AI application. So the first step for searching is cloud and index, then ranking. So each one of them need some artificial intelligence algorithm with it. Like a crawl, you need the most efficiency way to crawl the data. You need to find the most best path to crawl all the information with short of the time. You need to find a way to renewing the data to find the most important thing. For index, you need to separate the words. Like there is a Chinese language process, actually not Chinese, natural language process, NLPs. So now all the transformer large language model are all based on certain natural language process, and we have to do it. But this kind of like Asian's old technology. But now everything. The interesting thing is back to like 10 years ago, every AI has different algorithms. So like a car brand identify, you will need to take the image, do the transformat and Fourier what is
Fourier transformation.
Fourier transformation. Okay, it's actually called Fourier.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Fourier.
The thing is,
It's a French name.
yeah, French name. Okay. The thing is, there is different algorithm for traditional AI technology, and they won't go together. So when you talk with someone doing audio research or voice research, then they were using completely different algorithm with the natural language process. But nowadays, there are only one algorithm. So they are all transformer. So you are doing audio, good transformer. You are doing image generator, good transformer, and deficient. you're doing like a natural language process. You are also doing that. So of course, if we are doing good in our own base, we will go into the current AI field. Then why we do dive? is because if you original idea is create a AI assistant, help you find the best product. But there is also another thing, like what we mentioned about it, Google will disappear. So there is a lot of change will come.
So you are going to
AI
replace Google?
revolutions. I won't say it's replacing. So like the Netflix replacing
Disney?
Blackwell.
What is that?
No, Blackwell.
What is that?
百事达。
百事达。
What
Oh, Blockbuster.
Blockbuster. Okay.
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
Yes, there's one. There's still one left in the world.
Only one. So there is. We won't say it's replacing because it's different stuff. People won't using traditional search engine.
Yeah.
So the product search they won't use it anymore.
Yeah.
I can also imagine my day will come,
Yeah.
and people will stop using Googles. And but the thing is, the future will are more exciting. So way beyond the price comparison.
Yes.
And I hope that there is the revolutionary technology that every field can apply with it. So this is something that's way big than we can imagine. So this is but nobody noticed. Like MCP protocol was announced in the 2024 November.
Oh, I was super excited.
Yeah, you are super excited. So
yeah, that's what I'm waiting for long.
That actually a weight of the all the AI industry. So the thing is, in last year November, nobody noticed. So I remember I also see a Reddit post, like someone posting, there's a new MCP post from Anthropic post, and they announced this on Local Llama. So this is the biggest discussion form in the Reddit group in the Reddit nowadays. So the Local Llama guy, the first comments of the of that post is nobody cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big number for MCP, but nobody cares. The thing is, in the early stage, we saw that, and we feel this is very exciting. Nobody actually into this field, and if we do it, we have the chances to change the world. But now we're still not changing the world. The thing is, this is why we are doing it. It's something that you won't facing it every day. That you have the chances. Everyone wants to change your world, but you need the right topic.
Yeah.
This is some lifetime opportunity for us, and we just go for it.
Yeah.
In last year's.
I have another question. Is if people working on this kind of the technology, is it easy to raise the fund?
I don't think fund is something related. I don't know how to deal with those. If people want to invest it, we don't need it. We have a fund in the bank. I didn't stand advice since last fund we made it. The thing is not about money.
Yeah.
The thing is about the things you need to do. Still, you need prioritize, and you need to find a direction. You need the right people to do it. You are hiding some like random peoples, and providing a seat for them, and they start developing. It's not that now. They need to understand how it works. They need to understand. They need a background knowledge into this to know what is the question you have to deal with. So we are not hiring engineers to coding because it can be easily replacing by cursor.
Yes.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like what I mentioned at the very beginning, we talked about the content window issues.
Yeah.
Like there is only a limitation content windows. How do you manage in that? You need to create some algorithm, and you need to study on that. You need tons of the research. That means you have to do it not in person, or someone will have the capability to handle those things and to willing to work with you. So money is not the issues.
Okay.
The thing is, those kind of people are really hard to find. If you focus in Taiwan, then we need to put on a global perspective to seek into it. So, and last week, not last week, I think it's 3 days ago, after Google announced the Gemini 2.5 Pro, I also see Google's head of the technology says, people ask Google, do you want to add an MCP service in Google's? Then that head says, nobody cares.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. So
Why?
why? Because like what we say, people in here probably hear about it, start using MCP, but there's still a lot of difficult challenges you need to conquer. Like the general public, like my wife, they won't be able to install all the MCP server and
what interests you? You are just in what tool, what ETL you just find, and everybody are welcome to share it. So if you can let me know, or you can everyone can share. After Kevin speak.
yeah. So it's still a very early stage project. Okay, so last word.
No. Your roadmap.
Okay, roadmap. I didn't put it on the GitHub yet. So the thing I mentioned about it is why the Google's take head of the tech, or somebody says nobody cares, is because people are only like seeing some features, but nobody actually be able to access into it. Only very few people's. The thing is, those kind of fevers will come out really quick if people still won't be able to access into it. So who will be able to provide the first that the general user can access, the service that general user can access may win this battle. So there is only very short of the window for us, but yeah, this is something we think is quite exciting. So besides the language model competitions, you need a country's financial investment to helping you succeed. This is something small company, small group, even like Bigo, even like Formula can do. Okay, then that's it. Thanks everyone, and I'm out. Thank you.那我还是要保持荧幕分享，
可以关了。
还是
这个是什么？你要。